Ready to go. So we will open our meeting with a prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this agency and for the employees that work here and the consumers they serve. We thank you for this board. Lord, we'd ask that you would open our minds and our hearts as decisions are made tonight for the good of this agency. Forgive us of our sins. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the notice for the meeting was posted on the agency's website and also on Facebook, and I know you had it in another area too, didn't you?
Yeah, we've recently started a X account or Twitter account that we go through and post all that on too, along with our pictures and all
So
that
we got
good stuff.
3 different postings, so we're definitely meeting the requirements of the Freedom of Information Act. The mission for the agency is to provide access to high-quality services and proactively advocate for the rights of those with disabilities and special needs and their families. We're called to order, and George, I'll let you confirm that we've got a quorum for the record.
Yes, Mr. Martin Bellamy is present, Ms. Deborah Johnson is present, Mr. Larry Mateve is present, Mr. Jeff Menz is present, Mr. Edwin Hines is present, Mr. Jesse Lind is present, Ms. Amy Brault is on Zoom, and Ms. Sherry Verdone is present. So we do have a quorum of active members.
Okay, thank you. The first item is the approval of the meeting agenda that was in your packet that you received. We'll need a motion and a second for that.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any changes? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, the same sign? That motion carries unanimously. The next item is the approval of the consent agenda, and that was item A, and those are the meeting minutes for June 17, 2024. We'll need a motion and a second for that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any comments or any changes or any questions? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And any opposed, the like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Okay, the next item is the treasurer's report, and that's item B in your packet, and that's going to be Joe and Jeff.
Joe, go ahead.
Hey guys, sorry I couldn't get my camera to work, but there's not much to see here at the barracks that I'm in right now. But to go over the financial statements, we will be dealing with May 31st, 2024. Starting on page 1 or 2 of, or 3 of 11 in your packet on item T. We'll start with the balance sheet. Naturally, I always like to highlight how cash and investments are doing. Cash is up and investments are up as well, month over month. You'll note after just a little over a year of holding our investments with Merrill Lynch, we have gained about $111,000 in investment income. Moving on to the next page, we have the organization-wide income statement by division. What we want to focus on here is basically the net surplus that we have across all divisions at the end of May 31st, which is $483,000, which is a nice net income so far this year. Moving on from there, we will go over the next page, which is the organization-wide income statement by division with month-over-month comparison, and this will go hand in hand with the notes that follow on page 9 or 11 of 11 of item B. The big highlights here are that in adult day services, fee-for-services are up $19,149, and this is due to additional operating day compared to the prior month. Salaries are also up, and this is due to additional working day. Employee benefits have also increased $5,632. This is due to a workers' compensation insurance audit premium that we pay around this time of year every year. Residential services, our fee-for-service has gone up month over month by $13,809. And that's due to additional operating days, same as day program. salaries and wages naturally also increased $12,187 due to that additional operating day compared to the prior month. The employee benefits are up $12,000, and that is due to, as previously explained, the workers' compensation audits. Contract services are down $25,107, and that's largely due to landscaping projects in the prior month and then painting projects at various residential facilities, largely the SLPs, of $19,690 in the prior month. And last but not least, family supports contract services is up pretty much $20,000, and this is due to the distribution of annual summer funds to consumer families that happens this time of year every year. Pending any questions, that is the financial report.
I have one, referencing page 6 of 11. Just help me understand the surplus of $8,000 at Conway Adult Development Center and $168,000 at the Loris Adult Center.
So a large portion of the management and overhead is allocated to the adult day program in Conway versus the Loris ADC. I mean, long story short, we've never dug in that deep to see exactly where the allocations are missing between the two programs, largely because it can be hard to get a grasp on managerially where it's going. But long story short, it's due to an allocation of overhead and payroll.
Okay, that's all I have.
Can you elaborate on the annual summer funds? What's that all about, the distribution of that?
Yeah, so family supports, they have consumers that they do case management for, and their families will request funds for things like horseback riding or SOS as a camp, or they have summer activities that SCDDSN has allotted a certain amount of funds for us to distribute to them to use during the summertime.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have any other comments or questions, Jeff, or anybody? I'm curious about the end of the year. I see whether we've got a big number now. Do we think that number is going to carry us to the end of the fiscal year?
Curious in what sense? Like, do we think we're going to
The
retain
big
this
surplus.
amount of net income? all
Yeah,
the way
no,
through
the
end
big
of the year?
surplus that we have.
468,000.
Shouldn't go up.
I would expect honestly that net income would increase a little bit before the end of the year.
Okay.
I think, fingers crossed, we'll land at hopefully around $525,000 net income, if not $550,000 net income.
Thank
I like
you.
it. Helps build houses.
Yep.
It does. Thank you, thank you. Any other comments or questions with reference to the treasurer's report? Then we'll need a motion and a second for approval.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, the same sign. And that motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. The next item is the election of board officers, and the slate of officers would be item C in your packet, and Deborah Johnson will discuss that. Go from there.
Okay. So the nominating committee met on July the 19th and presents the following slate of officers for fiscal year 2025. Board Chair, Edwin Hines. Board Vice Chair, Jesse Lind. Board Secretary, Deborah Johnson. Board Treasurer, Jeff Mintz. We will open the floor to any additional nominations at this time.
Don't all speak at once.
Thank you, Edmund.
Hearing none, Mr. Chairman, I shall defer back to you to call for a motion.
Well, we'll have then we'll have a motion and a second to approve this slate of officers for the next fiscal year.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, the like sign, and that motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Deborah, and your committee. Moving down to reports, public input. I don't believe we have any public input, so the record will reflect no public input for tonight. And we'll move down next to the executive director's report with Alan.
All right, I want to start out by just giving you all an update as to numbers of individuals that the agency touches. Starting with family services, they currently got 803 people that they are case managing. They've got 10 additional consumers in process for approval for waiver services. On top of that, day services is serving 127 individuals in the Conway area, 41 at the Loris ADC, 26 in Job Coach. Next, there's really not much. I do update you monthly legislatively. There's really not much going on right now at the state level with them pretty much being on recess. I do want to make everyone aware, though, that there was a lot of talk about state restructuring as far as human service agencies. Separate from that, the Department of Health and Environmental Control there was legislation which was passed and approved for them to actually split. That actually was effective July 1st. DHEC is now the Department of Public Health and the Department of Environmental Services. That affects us because all of our facilities, day and residential, with the exception of the CRCFs, are licensed by DDSN via their agent Alliant. However, the CRCFs are licensed by DHEC. They're basically long-term care facilities is how they're licensed. So I don't really see that as much of an operational glitch. I am dealing with a minor glitch this month because our licenses expire July 31st, and if they're not renewed, we can't bill, and we can't transfer people, etc. I discovered that their systems are not in place up there. The applications were done in a timely manner. However, I inquired, and they had me send them copies of the receipts that we had paid the license fee so that they could move the process forward. So that's kind of what's going on up there now. Next, I wanted to call attention to the day program. I mentioned before that they started, or they were going to start, a new contract at Grand Strand Regional Medical Center. That is up and running and has been very, very well received. They are calling for either an additional group or an expansion of the group in place. Additionally, we are getting inquiries through the supervisor on site there. She's let me know that people are coming up to them left and right. Who are you? What how can I get in touch with you? I have a friend of a friend, or somebody who could benefit from our services. So George has ordered some generic business cards for her with our logo and everything on it, along with contact information, so she can pass those out. And there's going to be other use for that as well. So I will keep you updated as to what the final outcome is as far as either expansion or a second group, but it is going well. We're also finalizing the process to select a marketing and community engagement person. We should expect to, we'll be probably making a job offer to a prospective candidate this week. I'm going to run a second interview on one candidate, and we'll see how that goes. But it should be up and running. Of course, they'll have to be hired and vetted out and all that stuff and everything, but probably by the next time we all come together, they will be in place, and I'll be able to update you as far as their progress is concerned. Some of you have seen our ABB brand store downstairs. Just wanted to pass out. Just take one and pass it around there. I've got y'all a little swag for your use. We've got pens, pencils, pads, sticky notes, all sorts of things down there. We've got those, basically just to get our brand out there and running. A lot of staff are really interested in purchasing. We've got it set up and running with a price list and everything, so that we're actually not taking any cash or anything, but the staff do have the ability to payroll deduct if there's something that they watch. Also, we have a retention program where we have the ability to distribute some funds, just as in terms of recognition for some of the folks, that do go above and beyond with the agency. That is also part of that process as well. If we've got somebody versus, giving them a food gift card or something like that. I mean, we can give them something a little bit more tangible that also has the agency's name on it. Also, too, I don't know if anybody noticed the van down there.
Yes, it looks great.
That is the first. The next one will be wrapped on Thursday. Ultimately, we're looking to, and George has got it up here, we will be wrapping as quickly as we can. We do have a marketing budget. We don't want to exhaust the entire budget on van or vehicle wraps, but we will systematically be wrapping them. The idea being is we're on a program now where our vehicles are cycled through, they're replaced on a 5-year basis. So once the wrap goes on the vehicle and the vehicle that you saw out there is probably less than 6 months old, that is going to be advertising that's paid for in full, for the next 5 years. We've also, the first couple of vehicles, they're going to be wrapped. That van is actually one that goes down to the Crown Reef Resort on Ocean Boulevard. The next one is the one that's going to, that goes to Grand Strand Hospital. So again, they're going to be in more populated, more urban areas to start with, and then eventually we'll cycle through, and again, not just the little minivans like that, but you can see the wheelchair accessible vans, et cetera, et cetera. This company we're working with, East Coast Signs, has been doing a bang up job. Any signage you see in the building, they're responsible for it. So I am also going to be attending every year. There is an executive directors conference / retreat. It's hosted by the Human Service Providers organization. I'm going to be attending that August 1st and 2nd. That's going to be held in Greenville. I'll report on to you all next month as to what exactly transpires at that conference. But a couple things I will note, there is a session on the application for the Tech First grant. I mentioned that maybe 3 months ago in one of my reports. I will definitely update you on what's going on with that next month. Additionally, there is a presenter on the second day of the conference. We're supposed to bring our laptops and be prepared to learn about AI. So stay tuned for that. I will let you all know as far as that, how that goes. And that concludes my report today, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
Last month, we had 2 openings in residential.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot residential entirely. We've actually got 3 now. However, we've got two filled. They will be filled next month. We had to do trial visits. The third opening that popped up was at the CRCF. It was a really challenging situation. The individual has since been transferred to Midland Center. We just honestly were not equipped to handle him here. We had somebody come in for a trial visit for that vacancy. We just didn't think it was a very good fit. So I anticipate that one will be probably filled next month sometime too.
Any other questions for Alan? Alan, thank you for that report. Moving down to client satisfaction surveys with Angela.
The other one better, I could read it. I can read off here though. We're actually going to cover April and May this time around. So in April, we attempted 22 surveys. We were unsuccessful with 5 of those. The total completed was 17, 6 was in case management, 7 was in day services, and 4 was in residential. Out of the 136 possible responses, we had 1 of concern, and then we had 4 other comments. The concerns that were identified in April, Eric J., Mother Sandy. Mother stated that she's concerned about the turnover of staff. They change drivers frequently. They need to be more consistent with drivers. The follow-up, all staff are cross-trained on all-day program routes. This helps when staff turnover occurs, as well as staff in general being off. Unfortunately, staff turnover is an ever-growing concern, and we do the best we can to fill positions as soon as possible. We had 4 additional comments. The first one was Mark B. Mother Tammy states, Mother stated she would like to inquire about a job for Mark. Mark is still in school and is only 18. His dream job is to own his own landscaping business. The case manager and mother have developed a plan for Mark to change schools to Conway High School and participate in our agricultural program to work towards his goals of landscaping. Taylor T. Aaron Mother stated she would like it if the case managers didn't change so frequently. She feels that there needs to be more consistency. Unfortunately, when a case manager leaves, the cases must be reassigned until a new case manager is hired, which does cause change. It is always our hope to leave cases as assigned, but it is sometimes necessary to make changes due to location and to cut down on travel and cost. Kimberly I. Deanna, the mother would like to send Kimberly to school. She stated she would speak to her case manager. Case manager reached out to the mother, and the mother is referring to day program at school. The case manager and mother are working on possible day program settings for Kimberly. However, Kimberly is very attached to her mother, and the mother feels that she would need to attend with her in order for her to go. They will continue to work on this. And the last additional comment for April was Olivia B. Michelle, the mother stated that she wishes they would not change case managers as much, and we had already reviewed that one in a previous one. For the month of May, we attempted 20. We were actually unsuccessful with 7 this month. It was a difficult month for some reason. Case management, we completed 8. We completed 3 in day services, and we completed 2 in residential. For the month of May, we had no concerns identified, and we had 1 other response, and everything else was positive. The 1 response that we had, Charles J., day services, Rita, the mother, plans change on trips. It's very disappointing. A monthly calendar is planned and followed as best as possible. When inclement weather occurs, indoor activities are put into place. Unfortunately, activities do change at times, but the goal is to have community services out in the community 3 days a week.
Okay, any comments,
I
any
would say that
questions for
since
Angela?
D conflicts and we are now about to meet our 4th case manager in what, a year? And that's ARC.
So what's the issue?
They are constantly
Are they underpaid?
reshuffling their caseloads.
Yes, a lot of times a case manager will get into the job, the career field as an entry-level human service type position, a young person with a degree in psychology or something like that. That is one thing, and then they're underpaid. I mean, it's the ARC is probably paying their case managers better than we are because they should, I doubt they participate in the state retirement system, so they've got a little bit more leverage in terms, they're paid the same thing for each unit as we are. However, they have a little bit more latitude as far as that goes. But yeah, it is a problem where we're actually fortunate here. We don't turn over nearly as much as some agencies do. The ones we've got have longevity, and due to various cost of living, plus we also have a bonus program in place. If they basically, the building supports it, they earn extra money each month. So.
And the explanation to us has been that they've reshuffled staff. I know that the 3 that we've had up to this point are all still with the agency, but the last one was out of Lexington, out of Columbia.
The ARC is over the entire state. They're a well-run agency. Another factor in terms of the shuffling is going to be an agency like that is going to be increasing its case management load. So geographically, they may have to adjust to cut down on travel times, as more people in a certain area. So
Well, if it becomes problematic, us retaining our employees, we might need to think about paying them a little better.
Well, it's not our employees.
it's not.
Oh, it's not.
See, no, if my daughter receives services here, therefore she cannot receive case management here. That's the rule. So,
Okay, all right.
so ARC is the one who is doing the case management, and there is no easier case management, I don't think, than Emily, who's been here for 15 years and goes to the day program, and it is what it is, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and so, I mean, it's very simple, but
Alternatively, too, there are other agencies like that, an adjoining county we could possibly transfer her to, and that's applicable for anybody receiving case management. If for instance, if somebody in Georgetown County had the same problem with an ARC case manager, not that we're trying to pull them from them, but, you know, we they could transfer it to one of our case managers and vice versa or something like that. So if that gets to be a problem for you, we can do that.
It's a function of the deconfliction that happened a year ago, or roughly a year ago.
It was
And the
finished a year
deconfliction
ago,
was,
yeah.
if you're served by the agency, you cannot have a case manager in that agency. So the entire state went through deconfliction, okay? And so it has been, I think it's been challenging for everyone.
Well, that's good information.
Yeah, and especially hard for, I mean, trying to explain it to my wife, and so far it hasn't worked very well.
It's frustrating for, you know, agencies, but I mean, in point of fact, the bigger, you know, problem is really the families build a rapport with that case manager. They get used to it, and then all of a sudden, and they talk about freedom of choice. Well, you didn't give me a choice in this. So, but unfortunately, federal law is what drove it, and it had to be completed by December 31st of last year. So, you know, and we did it, but.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, any comments, any questions for Angela? Any more?
I see that there are far more positive comments.
There
I
always-
appreciate
Yeah.
you
always
adding those, 'cause there's
Yeah.
And I don't read
quite a
all of them,
volume.
but I mean, I would encourage you all to read them, because we do. We have so many wonderful staff that do a great job, and we do get a lot of positive feedback regarding that too.
I saw one on there that says, I don't know how we'd live without
Yeah.
mobility beyond
Yeah.
barriers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all positive. So, we'll need a motion and a second to approve that report.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And I think that motion carries unanimously. Don't even have to call for another vote. Okay. We will now move down to old business. I don't believe we have any unless I missed something, George. Okay?
Nope, everything's new today.
Okay, so we'll now slip over to new business, and the first item is the approval to bid construction on a new CTHI house, and Alan, you're gonna take that, and then the approval to sell the company-owned vehicle, item E in our package.
Yes. So, item A there, the approval is actually also gonna be an updated. You all gave me permission last month to enter into negotiations to purchase the piece of property in Royal Estates. I'm having a hard time looking at
Yeah, I
this.
know, yeah, I know.
We were successful, but
I have a hard time looking at him too, so
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
so unfortunately, the best I could do was the 95,000.
I think I'm gonna have to start negotiating on behalf of this nonprofit, cause it ain't gonna be Alan. You know what I mean?
It was the 95,000. They did pay all commissions, so we closed last Thursday. So it is our piece of property. It's duly recorded. That being said, I wanted to this month go ahead and ask you all for permission to begin the bid process. I do need to. I wanted to go ahead and ask for permission. That'll require a motion, second, and approval if you all do so. However, I do need to qualify. We will be engaging an architect first. We have floor plans for homes, that exist that we want to pretty much model after. However, they'll have to draw up new plans and everything. We are going to actually contact the gentleman who was our architect on this remodel, Paul Doyle, and see if he can help us out with that. He was really great to work with. That does not require me to put it out for bids because it's a professional service. So we'll go ahead and get that up and running. And then I'm hoping that probably within the next month or so we can go ahead and start the bid process, but I thought I would go ahead and ask you all for that permission now, and then I'll just keep you updated as I go.
And you don't need anything for the architect. That can be done without a motion and a second.
That's correct, yeah. Again, it's a professional service, so we can.
All right, then we'll need a motion and a second to allow Alan to go out for bid for the construction of a new home, and I don't know how many bids you're planning on getting, but.
At least 3 we need actually. Some of those, if somebody doesn't reply, we can log that as well. So that may be a fairly time-consuming process for something that large and so specific. However, we'll do what
And
we
you
have.
may find that there's a lot of builders busy and they're not gonna respond to you, so you might wanna put out 5.
And I do want to let you all know too, that this is a kind of significant omission. The gentlemen who are gonna be moving to that house that live in the Livingston, or the Wampee house on Star Bluff Road, they are thrilled, they've obviously seen the property where their new house, maybe in a year will be, and they have elected to name it Royal Court. So we have a house that's named Royal Estates, and we have one called Royal Court, and that is their choice, so that's what it will be named.
Okay, that's good.
I'll make the motion for you to obtain bids.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, the next item is executive session.
No, I've got the vehicle.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, the vehicle, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Excuse me.
so let me get to item E.
I'm trying to get you all out here too early.
It's up there.
It's your last hurrah, man.
That's
Okay,
right,
yeah, I got it here. All right, so I am requesting permission to sell an agency vehicle. It is van number 2. It's the oldest vehicle we currently have in the fleet. As I mentioned, we are cycling our vehicles through. We have a contract with Enterprise, and that's how we're obtaining them. So we actually got a DOT van that we had applied for the grant a week ago Friday, I believe it was. Plus, we had a replacement vehicle from Enterprise arrive a couple days later. So that being said, we no longer need this van. As I said, it's the oldest in the fleet. The information is up there, the mileage. It is also the most expensive vehicle that we've had in the fleet in terms of maintenance. Lifetime repair we have on record of $10,243. We've had some issues with water encroachment and things like that, and I'm asking for permission to sell it. Enterprise is giving us an estimated value of $5,000. If you give me permission, I'll put it out for bids like I did the vehicles a few months ago with the $5,000 as the starting bid, and that was very successful. We came in over the minimum bid on every one of those vehicles last time, so.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any questions or any comments?
Seems like good riddance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Did she hear us?
I did. I was with everybody else that time.
Okay, I missed it, I apologize. So the motion carries unanimously. Okay. All right, now the next item is executive session. Then that would be reference to personnel issue. So we'll need a motion and a second to go into executive session.
And for executive session, we're gonna be moving into my office, so it's gonna be straight out the door and to the right.
So we have a motion, and I hear a second.
We have to relocate for that?
Yes.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? That motion carries unanimously, and George, it looks like it's about 6:35. I mean, 5:35. Boy, I'm really ahead of time
Doesn't
today.
have complete control of it. We're not 100% sure the mics are off. That's why executive session has to be,
Okay. Do we bring all our stuff?
Nope, you can leave that here.
Well, now I'm regretting not using the wheelchair today.
You get some real exercise today,
Right.
Jesse.
That's what you get for surprising me.
I know, right?
Don't come back now here.
They'll be talking about us while we're out, right?
okay.
I don't say too much because I don't know if there's something. Should I stick around? Or
You can.
I'd like to stick around.
I don't think it'll take. I'll go out to the bathroom.
I won't let them start without you. Get back.
an additional issue with our CRCF licenses.
What?
So I signed where Susan did last year as the agent or whatever.
Oh,
Well,
and you're the administrator.
well, no, that's not
No?
a problem.
Okay.
The problem is the owner or whatever has to be like fingerprint background check. I swear that happened when I went for the CRCF license.
Yes, we had to get
But I don't know
fingerprinted.
where it is, who's got it, and plus it was 9 years ago.
I remember I had to go get fingerprinted at the beach and had to do all that. And
Well, needless to say, I've got to go over there tomorrow morning, and at 9:45 was the earliest appointment, so I'm starting there and coming
Okay.
on in, so.
Okay.
And George said that Susan had to do it for something, and she said she got her results in like a day or, like 2 days or something. The DHEC gave me a code, so I think the results are going straight to
Straight to
them.
them, okay.
So I will,
maybe they give them even quicker. I mean, who knows?
it's government, so but we need those
Mess.
licenses. I'm like, it didn't take me long to do them. I'm like, I didn't get the links. I needed the link to pay the invoice
Right.
and all that before I could do it.
So my question is, it's a DHEC license we're waiting on. How does that affect our billing?
It affects our billing because if we don't have.
The OSS funds, is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the billing that you do
Really?
twice a month, yeah.
How does,
So I guess DHHS will not allow us to bill unless we're operating under a license.
I got it, so that's how it's correlated, okay.
And I've had issues in years past. I can remember one time that license, they were using a different system. I mean, I had done those licenses like in May, but I did not get the link to do it and pay the bill about 2 weeks ago.
Was that when it was on paper though still, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I thought the last few times it's been pretty
I
quick.
finally, it was like the third week, I'm getting emails from central office, and remember I was talking to Hester about something. She's like, yeah, I noticed you guys were, I'm like, Hester, I did what I was supposed
Right,
to do.
yeah.
But they had somebody who was a vacant position, so they just weren't processing anything. I'm like, must be nice. So did you download the WhatsApp?
I had that on my phone already.
Well, I think it's your personal phone. I mean, if you can use that, just, if you need me, you can use it to get hold of me.
Yeah.
I don't really, I mean, literally, it's gonna be 72 hours, I'm gonna be pretty much, but, I mean, you can reach me.
Might be on
Well,
my
I
work
knew I
phone.
saw you in my contacts.
It might be my work phone, actually. The new phone system, do we know anything?
I got some training materials from Joe. I've got to get them distributed. He sent them to me
Okay.
yesterday, and frankly, I got to get it out tomorrow. Cynthia's working with HTC to port the numbers over so we
Okay.
can keep them.
Okay.
And as soon as we get confirmation that they're ported over,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do the business cards and stuff. So.
Okay. Yes, I have it on my work phone, so I do have
Okay.
it.
So if you need me, just
Oh, yeah, you're on there.
yeah. And I think George, I saw him in there too, and George, is going to have that. So. Yeah.
When are you guys leaving?
So we sail like at 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon.
I think Candace gets back the day you sail up.
It's the same ship.
Yeah. Oh, it is
She-
the same exact
She
ship?
gets back that morning.
Oh.
She'll be putting in probably 8 o'clock that morning, and we can get on the ship at like 1 o'clock that afternoon.
Okay, and
so
you guys get back Tuesday?
Monday morning.
Monday morning.
I'll be in the office Tuesday. I'm gonna, I'll probably have my computer at home doing some stuff, but I've got the trip to Greenville
Yeah.
that Wednesday afternoon. I'll leave.
Did we change the 3M's meeting to Tuesday, or are you keeping it
No, I
Monday?
left it
Okay.
Tuesday. I'm sure you
Or
I
Tuesday.
think got your stuff, and then
Yeah.
my stuff, I'll give it to you. I've got, all I gotta do is the agenda, and, I'll update the A&E stuff, which I don't
Okay.
think we've had anything in the last month, so.
Yeah. It's been nice.
Young Mr. Hammond's gone, so.
Yeah. It's been very nice.
And did you tell Tanya to call me? And
No, I forgot.
it's all right, I'll talk to her.
Wait,
I could've
forgot
rung
you
her
said
cell
that.
phone, that's fine. I'll talk to her.
She was in the interview, and Kim had come over, and I got busy with her, and I completely forgot.
You know,
Sorry.
thank you for helping her. I thought I tried to call her, I wanted to check on her. I mean, I talked with her Thursday or Friday.
Mhm.
She was over here at some length, and she seemed to be doing fine
Yeah.
and whatnot, and she seems
It's a
to-
learning curve. I told her, I said, we don't expect you to remember all this. I'm like, even just like maneuvering through TheraApp, I'm like, when you get up and running, I'll show you some more stuff. I said, you know, it's easy to run reports, different things. I said, but just get
Yeah.
acclimated with your consumers right now. That's
I
the big
saw her
thing.
at the camera, for some reason I was on it, and she was over there checking meds, and then what was your take on Tanya's request about the,
I don't know much about that. The staff, the ECF? Is that what you're talking
no,
about?
the cooking, she copied you, I think, in TheraApp.
I didn't see it.
Let me look and make sure, she should have copied you, so if not, I didn't answer it because I was waiting to talk to you.
You mean the follow-up from the
Yeah.
video? Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything unless I,
So apparently the sausages were sausages that he had brought from New Jersey, chicken sausages, and I guess the bread was in Kita's office, it was hers. The cheese was probably ours, but, you know, and her thing was, you know, we just need to be consistent, just tell me how you wanna do it. I'm like, you know, she says, I agree, it's not a good look. I was like, I agree, it's not a good look. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with somebody doing that, particularly like third shift or something like that, or even second shift later in the evening.
right.
The problem is, you know, you give people, and it's like, okay, maybe consider who's around you. It's just like they've had issues here, reviewers and stuff like, and they're sitting at the table eating, and it's like they don't even stop when they're, I'm like, you know,
Right,
again,
exactly.
there's people in the house and you're just chefing up a sausage sandwich.
Yeah.
So she was, you know, think on it. I'll forward it to you. I'll check to
Yeah.
see if you're tagged on it, and I'll forward it to
Okay.
you. We can just let them know, and she's like, we can, you know, give them permission, or we can just have it, you know, and she did say also too that they need to put their food in the garage refrigerator, and they do.
There's a refrigerator out there with a padlock on it just for that.
Yes.
Because then you don't have, if we would've watched the video a little more and he'd went out to that refrigerator and got all that stuff, I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with it. You know, I mean, but.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're all pissy over there, like, you know, we're sitting there, I'm like, no, I'm not.
Trust me, we don't have time to be.
I'm really not that interested, you know, unless you
Yeah.
give me a reason to be. I literally was
Right.
looking on the camera to see if somebody was over there, because I couldn't get anyone on the phone. And that's usually the reason I look on the camera over there, is when I call them, I usually call the landlines and they don't answer.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll call, the damn phone's ringing, and they're all sitting at the table.
yeah, yep.
I didn't tell you about the call I got yesterday too, or it wasn't a
You
call,
know.
I called. So I got a notice from Ecobee for Porter's Bay. You may have a problem, its system's calling for cool, but the temperature has risen 5 degrees in the last hour. So I called Heather, you know, I was like, Heather, is there something wrong? Oh, well, no, I have the door open. Like,
What?
count from 10 backwards, Alan. I'm like, you need to close the door, you know, it's 90 degrees and
Right.
humid out here, and that system is running nonstop.
Yeah.
I called Renita this morning, I'm like, look, I don't want anyone written up, and I was like,
Why did they have the door? Was it?
I don't know, I
Because I got
didn't,
a phone call today regarding that house. And Jennifer wanted to know if we could put a screen door on the front door. I said, no, because the way that's set up, Johnny can come in and out. Somebody's gonna have to be there to open that screen door, because it's not gonna be an automatic one. She's like, well, they like to sit outside and, you know, that way. So I bet you they were sitting on the front porch and they had the door open watching. But they don't have to have the front door open watching. And those guys have accountability to sit out on their own porch. You know, I mean,
I didn't, you know, ask too many, I just like, look, and I just told Renita, I was like, Renita, just please be aware of it and look into it. We can't have doors open
Right.
like that.
right.
I was like, we'll burn up AC units.
The humidity level.
The
and-
humidity gets up in there, you start getting nail pops and stuff like that, but, you know, it's like.
And those floors look bad enough the way they are from the, you know, the moisture and stuff, so.
That was the issue at Marley, and remember, I lost my shit. Cheryl was like, oh, well, the staff, I'm like, no, we've got a consumer there.
Yeah.
Someone who opens the windows on a 95-degree day just because, you know, he's that way, so.
I don't think, SLP2, I don't have to buy a queen-size mattress and box spring over there, because we're looking at Ian possibly coming in, he's excited, he wants to. He's got his own bedding and stuff, so we wouldn't have to purchase one, so that's one less
I
thing.
really hope that works out.
And the guy that we're looking at would be, he seems like such a nice guy. I'm looking forward to having a conversation and stuff with them on the way back down and things like that. I think that they would get along well.
Do you all like me to have a conversation with Ian about that?
Maybe,
Yeah.
just kind of, you know,
I might come take him to Taco Bell one
Yeah.
day and just say, look, you know, I think you can do this, and,
yeah.
you know,
I think he'll do well over there. Amy knows him very well. She likes him. You know, I mean, it'd be a good little fit. She knows his sarcastic sense of humor.
Ian's cool. Ian's not gonna
Yeah,
give you
no.
any problems.
No.
That's gonna drive Scott up a tree.
Gosh, yeah. Well,
I'm
maybe that gives him
sorry.
something to work towards someday. I mean,
That's exactly right.
I'd never say no if you were doing the right things, you know?
you know, and at this point, his mom's not in the
Yep.
picture, so that we could make that happen,
Mhm.
you know, because it would never have happened before.
No.
He's,
No.
yeah, but no, that, I'm like, look, I'm sorry, I can't hold somebody back just because you're jealous.
Yep. So that's
Yeah.
one less thing. So over there, I think all I have to purchase is, the living room stuff. And there's 2 end tables over there. They're black, they're a little scuffed up. I've got black furniture paint at home. I'm just gonna bring it in. I'm gonna come in probably one day this week and help Amy and them clean it up a little bit, and I'll just put a quick coat of paint on the top of them, and they should be fine, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind buying nice stuff, but I mean, you know, it's kind of like almost I'd rather see who you put in there.
Right, I don't wanna buy new things if we're, you know,
Get somebody who's not,
Yeah.
who's not really,
or buy things that we don't need it, you know, if somebody comes, I don't think this new person that is coming is bringing like a bed and stuff like that. I could be wrong, but that's why I don't wanna buy anything. We have frames and stuff like that, it's just mattresses were needed to be replaced.
all right, shouldn't take this long. We have 5 vans arriving tomorrow,
New vans,
15 passengers. Yeah.
replacing the old ones, or,
We've got 3 left on state fleet that are gonna be replaced, so.
how long did it take them to wrap the van?
The day.
Oh, really?
It's on that day.
Okay.
It's not a full wrap, I mean.
Right, it's just-
I think they initially gave us, and it was, you know, it's not really cheap anyway, but like, I don't see why you would need to wrap the hood.
Right.
And certainly this roof, I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
yeah.
so, and it gets your attention, so there's another one being done. But I gotta check though too, because I'm hoping that none of those caravans are state fleet, because we can't put a 15 passenger at the house. We
No.
had that issue last year when I had that meltdown, so if that's the case, some of these milk trucks are gonna have to go.
And we're not gonna have those on the residential vans, right? The wraparound?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
good.
No, so there's more of those milk trucks, so I'll find that out
Okay.
tomorrow before we move forward, because we're not doing any more wraps
Okay.
until a marketing person comes in, and because the budget is not that extensive, so
Right.
it's like, I don't wanna spend
Don't
it
wanna
all.
waste it, yeah. No, waste, I shouldn't, that's not the right terminology, but yeah, you don't wanna use it all in one area. So next month, then the new officers will be in place, right? And do we have new people coming in?
No, we have a full board right now, but,
So nobody that's
No.
stepping down is leaving, okay.
No.
Okay.
No, but some of these folks are not gonna be renewing, so next year we're gonna have we got some
Gotcha.
work to do, so.
Any progress on the house this weekend?
The slab is poured.
Nice.
It was, did I talk to you about it Friday?
We talked a little bit about Friday, because I drove past it when I was going up to the north end to do inspections.
So he sent me a second update, because the concrete trucks were all there.
Uh-huh.
And then when I went on the way home that afternoon, about 4:30, I drove by, and they were out there smoothing out. And I was there this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and it was poured. So I'm sure it got inspected today,
Yeah.
probably. He said 23 inspections total, so.
Wow.
So I'm hoping, and he said the trusses would be here, and I fully expect it should start framing this week.
Okay.
So the one across the street 2-3 weeks ago was nothing, and it's
Looks like a house
framed.
now.
Well, it's framed, and then the trusses, I guess, are pre-made, and they're sitting there waiting to go up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he said November 6th, but it may be.
Oh, you can have Thanksgiving at your place.
Probably not. I don't know that I'll be ready. But, evening.
How's Debbie's place coming along?
She's essentially done.
Oh, good.
Kevin did her baseboards they were supposed to come today to finish sanding the sheetrock, and then
That was
Alexa.
quick. That was
Yeah, well,
quick.
this is my sister. If it involves moving and stuff like that,
Yeah.
yeah, so they pulled the dryers out, the sheetrock was done Friday, they have to sand, and then it's ready to paint and it'll be back to order, so. And they're supposed to be having a meeting with the culprit tonight, I guess. I don't know, I'm just glad I'm not.
Glad you're not there today.
I'm not dealing with it, so I told Debbie beforehand, I was like, Debbie, I really am concerned. And she is a lovely
Yeah.
woman, I do like her, but I'm sorry, it's not, you guys.
It's not an assisted
Well,
living,
and
I mean.
right now, it is all this election stuff. I mean, I got up at 4 a.m. to use the restroom, and the light was on downstairs, and I went downstairs to use the restroom. Kelly was still working.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Aw.
So, and I told Debbie, I was like, I'm just worried about her because from my standpoint, this is not the cure for cancer. These are really offensive pieces of, I don't know what you'd call them.
I've seen them, yes.
Well, no, I know you haven't. I've helped some over
Yeah.
the weekend actually bag in. I
Yeah.
hate doing them. It doesn't even matter what the topic is. But I've tried to help out a little bit. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's, but I'm hoping she can take a day for herself because she gets up and she was putting up orders out today, and then.
Is there anybody, I mean, I know Gavin can't help that much. Is there
She's
anybody
got,
else they're looking
she's
at,
got
or-
like 2 people that I think,
Okay.
the problem is, she's farmed it out to some people. She didn't have this problem with Gavin because she trusts him, but some of these people, it's like, well, you're saying I have to pay you for 19 hours and it should have taken 10,
Right.
you know?
You start to question. And Gavin, he is, like, he has a little stop thing, and because he's like, if he goes to the bathroom, he stops it. He's like, I would feel awful taking money from Miss Kelly, if I'm not working, I'm just.
She loves that kid, and I mean, honestly, but but alternatively, I mean, we appreciated him coming over to help, but I told Kelly, and Kelly said, he's a kid, I mean, he wants to lifeguard, he needs to enjoy himself, I mean, he doesn't need, money is not everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could lifeguard and then work 4 hours a night, but
Yeah.
no, that's not what he needs to be spending
No.
his summer doing. I mean, he needs to enjoy himself.
All nice and tan. Him and his best friend is Jewish descent, so he's very tan all the time. And Gavin takes after me, so we always call him Ebony and Ivory. That was always our little joke. And now I'm like, I can't even do that now. I was like, you're almost as tan as Noah.
He's using sunscreen and stuff.
Yes, he uses a 50 every day. Well, the first few times I don't think he did, and I think he learned his lesson. I'm like,
Yeah.
you will get skin cancer.
He needs to, because Debbie's actually being treated for skin cancer now.
Yeah.
She's going over there getting laser shots.
Mhm.
And Debbie used to be, and she even now, she's fixated on her lawn
Mhm.
doing it. I'm like, yeah, you got hair on your head and I don't, but I mean, could you maybe put a hat on?
Right.
Maybe don't
Especially
wear.
because, lighter colored hair, even him, Gavin's got thick
Well, I mean,
hair, but still, I mean.
She's got a tank top on and
Yeah.
stuff, and she
I'm
used to,
guilty of that.
she used to be addicted. I mean, she used to be brown as a nut, and she used to be like addicted to tanning beds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. And I'm like, and if you look at her skin now, I mean, I ain't gonna appear on any magazine covers, but if you look at my skin versus hers, and
Yeah.
I'm older than her.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like 2,000 having to like radiation treat a spot on her ear.
I've heard that they do that.
That which she knew I'd do. Well, yeah, I was assuming,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Talking in his chambers.
chambers,
Yeah.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay, George, you got your notes on the motion, the second there, 5:55?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're back in public meeting now. And we just came out of executive session and no business was conducted. And we are now with open meeting, and what the chair would be looking for is a motion and a second for the recommendation from the search committee, which recommends the board appoint Alan Cornell to the role of executive director, and the board adopt the plan put forth in the approved request for exception. There is no change in the current compensation and benefits. So we need a motion and a second for that
I'd like to make
recommendation.
that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any questions or any comments?
You good with that?
I'm good with that, yes.
That's a
You
good
gotta
question.
minimize your negotiations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If we do that, you'll
We'll
be
contract
going.
out the negotiation.
Okay, then we'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Amy, did she get in before the rest of us?
She hasn't popped back over.
Okay.
Nope, I think she dropped off completely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have it's unanimous with the votes that were taken. There's no nay votes.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Alan.
Thank you.
You're no longer our intern.
No longer, I'll drop that off, but, thank you all, I appreciate it, I appreciate your trust in me. Try not to burn the place down, so.
Oh, man. Okay, we're close to adjournment. I'd like to just make a couple of comments before we adjourn, if you all would let me. First of all, I'd like to thank the people that served on the search committee in 2023 and also in 2024. You all would come to a meeting or on Zoom. You really worked hard and you were free with your time for what our business, for us to conduct our business. And I'd also like to thank all of you for supporting me since I was chair of the board. And Edwin, you're gonna have the same support, and I'll be right there behind them too. And then the last thing I do today is I wanna recognize George Ulrich. We would not be here today with Alan in this position had George not been creative in his thinking, looking for ways to make it happen, and he knew how the wheels were turning in Columbia, and he also had legal behind him with their assessment. So I think we owe George a round of appreciation. Okay. Any other comments for the good of the agency, good of the board before we adjourn?
Thank you, Mark.
I just wanna thank you all too for supporting me over this last period, and I look forward to working with the new slate of officers as well as the rest of the board. So,
I think
Congratulations.
we owe Martin a round of applause
Yes.
too.
George is the man. We had a lot of conversations, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yeah, well, and just so you know, we're not interested in going through this process anytime soon.
Absolutely.
So this is a debt till we part.
I for
You're
one
stuck
have
with me for a while.
done it as many times as I care to do it now, that search.
Yeah.
It
So we're
was
glad
the
to have
search
you.
that never ended.
Well, it was
Well,
meant to
13
be.
months.
I look at where we were and what we've come through and where we landed, and I really do believe it was meant to be.
I do too.
I believe in Providence, and here we are.
I
This
do
is
too.
good. Real good. Okay.
Martin, I want to say, it's been a pleasure having you at the helm as the chair. I know that Edwin is going to do an equally wonderful job, and you're right, we will support him in every way. And to Alan, it feels good to be where we are today, and I can say that with all honesty, that you have the full support of the board. And I am very hopeful that the staff will be equally as excited as we are, and what is getting ready to come, and we know that the agency is in good hands, so
Thank you.
we appreciate you accepting that position, and we'll move on to new things.
All right.
Here, here.
Very well. Any other comments, suggestions?
The next meeting is on Monday, August the 19th.
August the 19th. Okay. Then we'll be looking for a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries unanimously.
6 o'clock.
There we go, she's back. Very much unanimously.
Hey, Alan, impeccable
Thank you,
timing
Miss
with the
Amy. You
swag,
have a good
man. My
rest of your
pen
day.
fell
Okay.
apart, I needed it, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, talk to you soon.
Martin said something about Providence, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hey,
Universal
it was meant to be, and, you know, took us almost a year or two.